Hi, very hello. Let me know how the audio is. Can you hear me? Can you hear the game? Do I sound crunchy? I've been testing the audio and I don't know. I think I might actually just buy a new mic. Audio seems fine. Hey, I'm gonna trust you. Dude, can't believe that Adrian... No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See? She could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your hakama. She was the one that came to wake me up. Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yeah, she's the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. Oh my gosh. She has her own agenda. Own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time the trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. It'll be a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix. I think her motive is related to Celestine Pax's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impax as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impax suddenly killed herself. Sounds like she left a suicide note. The person thought to have hidden it. It's Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. That's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. All to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impax. Edgeworth. Looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. What is your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossip Land. If Judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyways, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter, or bait and fry. Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing me of it. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. When I found the body, it was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. There was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Huh? Oh my gosh, dead body, I need some juice. Bam! yourself a glass of juice. Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. That is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made. See? Well, Mr. Wright. I cross-examined the witness. She's one cool and collected customer. She has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who's easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense, the instant this trial is over. Understand? Okay.
Hold it!
And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. And I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me?
Objection!
Right. I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with the subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. On Guard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue.
Hold it!
And why did you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Is that the only reason? Pardon? What do you imply? You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim. Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at the time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you went to his room?
Hold it!
You were in shock. What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. Despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Correa. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. Yet seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. Crime scene photo look like again? Crime photo. Aha! Okay, exactly. So the juice was there. I'm going to save because I'm scared.
Objection!
Nope, okay. It does, though. It does contradict that evidence. Okay. Suppress it, yes. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this, too. Yes, it was open and empty, of course. Then, what did you do next, witness? Juice. Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? There were no lip marks left on the wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Correa, you were in great shock. That's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? What of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Mine was a complete blank. I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? It was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Oh, keep talking. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. Sorry. It's kind of missing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Oh, is that so? Flower vase? You talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards. It was originally on top of the dresser. But when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell into the guitar case. Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? Sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, I would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. Looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Liar, 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 liar. Well, I fell onto the guitar case, What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser. That's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself. That's what she would like people to do. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and... Doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony. No, Phoenix, there is. I think it's the guitar case. There's water only on top.
Objection!
You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what's that? Let's take another look at the crime scene. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what's wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shard should be inside, not outside the case.
Objection!
What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over. Is that all?
Objection!
No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case.
Objection!
But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. Bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? Yeah, make her testify. The empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either. All right, I'll follow along for now. Miss Adrian, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. Not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. That is so sus. What do you mean you don't know? Looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic. Convenient escape for... Okay. Okay. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, let's see. Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews. Yes, it was me.
Hold it!
So, you opened the guitar case then? Yes. Maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Kurita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case.
Objection!
As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why did she care about the bright red guitar? But, getting back on topic.
Hold it!
Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside.
Objection!
Phoenix! How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry.
Hold it!
Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. You can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now, so this is our chance. Yeah, we have a weapon to hit her with. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. What? What? Okay. I opened the guitar case after I knocked the things over. That's correct. Okay. Not a big deal, the case was empty. As for why I opened the case, even... What am I supposed to do here? Not a big deal, the case was empty. Like, how do I prove that it wasn't? There's Kurita's fingerprints. Wait! It doesn't have her fingerprints on it. I suppose I... Maybe here?
Objection!
There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? Why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. Sus. Wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I wasn't wearing gloves at the time?
Take that!
I have your proof right here. This wine glass. Wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on the wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Oh! Where did those come from? Order. It's like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role. but it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar! Bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided...
Objection!
No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in the photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. You're so sure, and I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why the guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well... Let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been the case. Bright red guitar not being the only thing. You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar... How can a guitar bright and black? What? So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that, pedophiles. You haven't proven anything yet. Now, let's act. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? Well... That's a good question, Edgeworth. What's in the case of the... Can I say this? Kind of no evidence of that, but that's kind of the only thing I could think of. Okay, well.
Take that!
This is a photograph. Yes, but what's important is what is in the picture. In this picture. It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... Inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, you're saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume. What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order, order! Looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. The real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Madon Guard's. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places? True, that is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare. Mr. Engard didn't take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we're talking about was a spare one. What? Then, you say that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel. Yes, that is what I'm saying. How do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? The victim himself had brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose. How sussy. But why? The victim Mr. Corita, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point.
Objection!
What are you mumbling to yourself about now? You've just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer. Then answer with gusto. I believe in you. I don't believe in me. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was...
Take that!
What is this? The night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. Press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. What about this as well? For once, you're not making something up right. But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said that he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how could that be? The way I see it, that can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida himself. Hey, let's go. Victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Corrida was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. That's right. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at the conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Corrida, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on Guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Miss Andrews, I can see why you're pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. And you knew this, and you didn't tell me. Evil, evil woman. And no, wait, I skipped that. I was the one he asked to help set it up. The person who prepared the second costume for him. That was also me. You! Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. He lost the Grand Prix. He was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought it was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? And do you know what the secret of Mr. On Guard's is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. D. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. On Guard? Yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor. Understand. Protecting Matt. I don't believe her for a second. The moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. Sure. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright. It's like somehow everything is swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means that I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Oh, and I saw the crime scene. That is so sus. Did you say that that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with yours. Want to prove that someone did something, need 3 things. 3 things? An opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school. At least, not from what I remember. May I continue now? Phoenix, were you a class skipper? No. That had to kill one no matter what. So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Mad on Guard. You know of this plan, didn't you, Miss Anne? Yes. Because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? He said it. Yeah, okay, I guess not. Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony. Please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to... Right. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Kurita with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out.
Objection!
That person on trial. The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard. What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people in this courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at me. He's glaring at you, smart guy. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. Fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? What? Clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. During the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jammin' Ninja's costume. No talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama. That correct? I think that makes it very decisive evidence. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. The button was torn off Juan during his fight with Matt. And how do you know that? The ends of the threads of the button and the costume were matched up. They were found to fit together perfectly. So I heard. I've heard that before, too. Why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you're not. Ugh. I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where? What? button was torn off during his fight. Where's the autopsy report? Strangled and then stabbed. So it shouldn't have blood on it if it was during the fight. But I'm going to save because I am Catholic. Now. Sent. Autopsy.
Objection!
This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it. Which would mean that it was ripped off the costume. When? After it stabbed into the victim. Exactly. Which means it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle. Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body. Order. What is the meaning of this right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What did that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Adrian. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposefully rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? In the crime on guard. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's weird. That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... the real murder or the real murderer? Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer? I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is... I mean, I guess I have to say Adrian.
Take that!
Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you! You are Mr. Corita's killer. What? Order. Mr. Wright, this is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. How preposterous! You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. The knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's hakama? We were literally just talking about that, ma'am. The button was removed from the victim's body after he'd already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body, or the killer. However, Mr. On Guard was the real killer. There's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own hakama. How many pairs of glasses do you have? The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap. which is you yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No,
Objection!
Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she didn't intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So, to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposefully left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic day's discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? Got her this time. Miss Andrews. I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. What kind of law? Oh my gosh. This girl. Well, yes, you're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. Law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? All right. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things look bad. Did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Butler? I'm sure this is well. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Corrida. Motive, my bestie. Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Corrida? This may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. That's basically a yes, though. Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove either way. Nothing to prove it either. Besides, I don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! She's taking that defiant attitude again! That is exactly how I feel. Mia, what should we do? Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But that's not true! In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do. That is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. At tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? You don't have a tomorrow. You don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... But it is impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true, Miss Andrews holds the rights against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there's one little thing I am curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually, when one finds a body, they're shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual. But I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I'd like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she was first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. He's friend! Edgeworth is friendship! Court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. When I found the body, that glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, sitting slumped over and tired looking at me. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Miss Ma'am, you did not notice the knife sticking out of his chest? What? I poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? Didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful. Can't find anything wrong with this testimony. There's nothing left. No. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Hey! Surprised when I were doing that.
Hold it!
Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted, eyes closed. Really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? I mean, there's literally a knife sticking out of him, so... Photo.
Objection!
Okay. Let's see. Wow, I'm so eepy. There's knife. Why? Ah. What do you mean? He's missing a button and everything.
Hold it!
Then what did cross your mind? Thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix, and felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. See, so you didn't think he was dead at all.
Hold it!
he fainted. I thought he was asleep at first. Then the room was in such a messy state, I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. That's when you went to pour the glass of juice. Yes, he always has a hard time waking up, so Juan always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. See, after that, what happened next?
Hold it!
How did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked, staggered backward, knocked the floor. So that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now's our best chance yet to kill the prosecution's case. That's harsh. It's Andrews. Tell us the truth this time? It's gotta be here. It has to be. But I don't know. I just do this? Maybe? Guys!
Objection!
What do you mean, no? What do you... Okay, I'm just gonna press everything into fun.
Hold it!
But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour? Mr. Wright. There's a rhyme and reason for everything. Wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you. Another part's right. Be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Hold it!
So, it was a mess. Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Corita?
Objection!
I understand your frustration at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. Then, what did you see next with this? It's gotta be this thing.
Hold it!
Slumped over, yes, sleeping. That sounds odd. It does, Phoenix. It really does. It really does. But why can't I... What else can I submit? Start. Stop. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. Slumped over and tired looking.
Objection!
What am I supposed? Oh. Juan was sitting, slumped over, and tired looking in the corner. Yes, he is. I submit a person? I don't know. What am I supposed to do here? I don't understand. I'm looking it up. found the body. Yes. Was that the crime photo on statements 4, 5, or 6? What? I literally did that, though. I literally did that. What do you mean?
Objection!
Is this not 4, 5, or 6? Is this 3? Oh my gosh. He's literally...
Objection!
Okay, game. Okay. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Corita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. Well, you see... I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is... Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer. No! Looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt on guard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible! You're wrong! Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it! He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for doing so was that... The reason for doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, let me give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. You're so annoying. There's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt-on-Guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it her? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually, the real killer confesses his or her guilt. Now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I'd like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt on guard.
Objection!
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. The absolute real truth? What are you... Witness, don't you understand yet? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt on guard will go free in his place. You will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? She lost it? Oh, I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Francisca von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Me too. Me too. Hi, Bitray! Why is my connection so bad? Then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. evidence. If you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now, and is clinging onto them. Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? What we have to do now is get her not guilty. That's my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please. Someone. Help me. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Court cannot continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. Think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there. Right? Tell me, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Testify, girl. Testify. We have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you're really hiding. Mr. Wright, sure you know what you're doing. Sure, Mr. On Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop! Mr. Edgeworth! This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? Because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop! Please stop! No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. It's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What'll you do now, Miss? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Does this not count as blackmail? Is this not blackmail, Edgeworth? Please stop! I beg you! If people find out, You're going to say you would choose death. That is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how could you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk. Well, gee, girl. You're not being very helpful yourself. Nothing matters anymore. My quote-unquote crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. I realized he was dead. That's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then, I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. Stab the body with the knife. Why would you do that? Isn't it obvious to pin the blame on a certain person? certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all this? It might take this for a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. Last time? So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. This is her crime. Yeah, but like, that's still bad, right? What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Alrighty.
Hold it!
But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you didn't know that he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up. Went to pour the juice.
Hold it!
What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because Juan was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's what I thought. I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife.
Hold it!
That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. He slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime.
Hold it!
So you were the one to stab the victim with the knife. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. I used the button somehow. I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Ongar's hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. Things never go that smoothly, do they?
Hold it!
An inconvenience. There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. Willing to bet my spikes, it was Lotta. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I'd already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again.
Hold it!
You were the one who prepared the costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the awards ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes. Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. What is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, bitrate or uh-oh something in the game? I don't know where you guys are at right now. My bitrate is still doo-doo. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So, after that, I went back to Mr. On-Guard's room and planted the button. Did Matt's hakama? After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word. What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? Real criminal. Is mad on guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Ziska, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. If I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, you can be certain that she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. Cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. We couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Fire! Today's trial. It's over. I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth. That's it. Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. Room? That day? Thank you for the hydrate and stretch kimono. You guys are probably super behind. I don't know where you guys are. My bitrate, Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. Found that card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. It's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card. Ask me. She asks for help, but when someone tries, she calls him a liar, a woman. Facts. Dang, you guys are pretty darn far behind. It's pain. As far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry! Edgeworth, do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I mean, technically she wasn't hiding it. You know, she was twirling it in your face this whole time, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? What does it mean? They're just gonna... Oh, okay. They're just gonna end it there. Oh. Alright, game. Can't be doing this to me! Oh, Red, that's mean. There, Pearls.
I can't take it anymore.
Look, it'll be be alright. Everything may still work out.
Huh?
The condition was that we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. Look, thank you. I think it's working for now. It's a little sus, but, you know, we're trying. And he won't because Mr. On Guard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up. We don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going.
You're right. Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am.
Yes, that's right. So... Hey, you guys. Glad I caught you, pal.
Mr. Scruffy Detective.
Oh, boy. Looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now, and I came to talk to you, pal. Oh, we're kind of busy right now. So, what are you going to do from now on? What do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So, you have a new job lined up yet? Oh, that? What am I supposed to do now? Oh, I don't have anything coming in at all until my next payday. What are you talking about? Don't have another payday. I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. Say what? We'll be searching for things that'll prove Mr. On Guard's innocence all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna help you, pal. I've got lots of experience in investigating and watching over people's places. And I'm great at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all.
Come on, Mr. Nick. Let Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things.
Okay. By the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat cheap, unhealthy foods? That was the first time I've ever seen Mr. Edgeworth act like that. Never thought he'd say something like he didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself.
He said that? That's horrible.
Because of him doing that, he got the truth finally. The truth. Miss Andrews' last testimony. Wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself. But I still think there's something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. Mean about that thing, pal? Why would she want to... No, I mean, almost need to frame on Mr. On Guard. I couldn't figure that out from anything she said all day. Then you're saying that testimony was a lie? Not a lie, per se. It just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe.
That's such a dirty trick. Even that woman prosecutor was better than that.
Von Karma. Speaking of Miss Von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Wasn't she shot this morning? Miss Von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by a pistol, pal. But she's going to be fine, right? I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, but... Well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and still hanging in there. Should be done taking the bullet out, so she's probably resting at the hospital. Which one? What? You going to visit her, pal? No. Well, I was kind of thinking about it. Hey, you've actually got a heart, don't you? She looked like she was being tortured to death not being able to go to the trial today. So maybe it'd be good for her if you went and let her whip you for a bit, pal.
Let's go let her whip us, Mr. Nick.
Ha! Bro! Now I'm definitely not going. Let's see. Name of the hospital. Oh yeah, the Haughty Clinic. Name sends a chill down my spine. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. Alrighty, let's go visit the Queen. My beloved. I thought I'd ever come back to this place. Yes, are you here to visit a patient? Hi. Wait a second, you're... Yes, I'm Director Haughty. Why are you still here? Yes, what was it? I can help you. You can tell me. Yes. Director Haughty. Oh, that was Edgeworth. Director Haughty. Edgeworth. Yes, I'm Director Haughty. Oh, you're the one from this morning. Yes. What is it? Francisca. How is Francisca von Karma? You don't need to worry. Yes, she's in good hands. Because, you see, I'm personally taking good care of her. Yes. Yes, and that surgery, it went well. Have my gratitude. Looks like Edward doesn't know about this director and his secret. She looks so pitiful, absolutely terrifying. Yes, but I understand. Yes, her opponent was a gun after all. And when I snuck up on her real secret-like, she would scream really loud. Yes. I see. But she's really cute too. When I do that, she'd whip me with a whip. I need some context as to where we are in this case. Hi, Arevla. You guys are probably a bit behind because my bitrate is being a butt today. Oh wait, I skipped the thing again. Boy, did I cry like a baby. Yes, but I think I could get used to it. Go back to your room. You're so mean. So mean, my frisky Friska. Okay. Yes, it's time for my IV drops. Yes. And what are those tulips doing in your hands, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Oh, I knew I shouldn't have come here. Oh, he got her flowers. What a good guy. I was shot in front of the courthouse in my right shoulder. But it's no big deal. This sort of thing happens all the time. I even had full intentions of running this trial this morning.
But that would have been too much for you.
There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know. Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. He was so unyielding. One has to wonder if he was simply interested in stealing my case. It's the only logical course of action, given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. It's got trauma from Manfred. Also, maybe refreshing might help the stream, I'm not sure. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, it's not your internet, it's mine. But by taking over the case, I found myself having to clean up after you with that irresponsible deal. I think I know what deal he's referring to. Miss Von Karma, you made a deal with Miss Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. Messages 3-minute delay. Ew, 3 minutes. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. On Guard, you told Miss Andrews to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof that I made such a deal? You're denying it? It looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If I'd been in court today, this trial would already be over. All while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime. That isn't my problem, whether she had tampered with the evidence or not. I have only one objective, to find On Guard guilty of murder. The end justifies the means, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The end justifies the means. Miss Von Karma, Adrian Andrews believed you said. If you don't tell the truth of what really happened, then On Guard will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me? Because of that, she's now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end. That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. You had to know she was... Ow! I think visiting hours here are about over. So if you'll excuse me.
wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off?
Probably because she thinks I have the advantage in that argument. Edgeworth. Back to me. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That wasn't like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Miss Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far... She wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, Matt, courtroom is a garden of judgment. I'm putting myself on the line when I stand in there. That is why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural. By the way, Edgeworth, you were really angry at court today. That's rare for you. Witness, that card. Give it to me. Hurry. Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This... I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. That card. What in the world is it? This. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot believe this. Special Investigations Team has existed for a number of years, but few know of it. I understand. Their task is to find the owner of this card. A man called Shelley the Killer. Just as his name states, he is a killer, an assassin. The best at that. Is my bitrate finally better? An assassin? Let's go. So who is this Shelley the Killer? The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins.
Long-standing?
The name first appeared 100 years ago. Shelley is the professional name of the third heir to the Killer name. So because his professional name is Shelley, he leaves cards with a shell on them. He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims.
Why would he do something like that?
I think it's a part of his duty to his clients. His duty? He leaves a card, and his clients can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients.
See.
The Killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. It seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. I guess that even honorable assassins can exist. So, you think this assassin... You think he's the one who did the killing in this case? It would appear that. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelley the Killer, huh? I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Is something the matter? So I'm gonna run an ad so that you guys don't get you on a rush. Guess I should just tell her. Fine. She's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does the kidnapper want? An acquittal. See, they had no idea. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow.
Really? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is going to...
Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity.
Mr. Nick?
There's no way you could find her. You don't even have a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. Listen, I need to know something. Juan Corrida was killed by Shelley the Killer. And the client who ordered the job is mad on guard. Your own client. Please stop. I can't listen to you. I can't believe that. See. Well, want to continue your investigation, we'll need this.
What is it?
The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only, as we're looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelley the Killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they'll let you enter. Letter of introduction. Nice. In any case, I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again if anything should happen. Now, if you'll excuse me. Red shade.
Nick? Do you think Mr. On Guard hired an assassin?
No way! I mean, he doesn't have a psyche lock.
Yeah, I guess not.
Maya, please, all I ask is you make it home safe and sound.
I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. And even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up, like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try out the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like it got the door open. Okay, time to go take a look around.
Let's go!
There! What is this place? I've got a feeling I'm not in the hotel anymore. Are those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way I can show them to Sis and maybe get out of here. There's a framed picture sitting on this coffee table. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, "With love, Celeste." I bet this could be a clue. That's weird. What's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? That's a figurine? That looks like a plushie to me. I think it's a bear. Aw, how cute! It's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. I wonder if it's some kind of puzzle or something. Locked. Of course. And it doesn't look like I can use the card to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier, then maybe I'd be able to crawl through there. Oh, hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. I have no idea where the power switch on this thing is. Drat! There goes my plan to use this somehow to get out of here. What is this thing? An antenna, I guess? And this is a VCR. Sure are a lot of electronic gadgets here. What's an antenna doing here?
This simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. It seems that your Mr. Right is truly concerned about.
He is?
Now, I would suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you.
Ways? You mean?
Dead men tell no tales, is how the saying goes.
Dead?
I'm almost certain I told you in our first meeting. I am an assassin.
No way! You're lying. I mean, an assassin?
Not always who they appear to be.
Mr. Nick?
Oh, yes, Pearls? Got caught up in my thoughts about Maya's situation.
Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know.
Guess for now, I have no choice but to believe in Mr. On Guard. I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too.
Okay. Hi, Gummy.
Sorry, visiting hours are over for today.
Aww.
I have too many questions I need to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer for one of the... Mr. Wright, you say? Oh, yeah. There's a message here for you. Message? It's from Matt On Guard. Here you are.
What did he write? Is it something really important?
I don't know. Well, let's see what it has to say. To Mr. Lawyer Dude, I've got something really important to tell you. Why do I feel uneasy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright. So, actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I have this cat named Shu. I didn't put a lot of food out when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. Think you could drop by my house and feed Shu for me, dude? My house is just a little ways down from the hotel, alright? And why do you have to stay in a hotel room? Whack.
This is terrible. Let's hurry. We have to feed his cat. I'm sure poor Shu's stomach is growling by now.
Yeah, I guess. Let's go! Client's request is a request. Guess I should go check up on his cat.
Cat, 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 cat. He looks really busy with something or other.
They're probably strengthening the evidence for tomorrow's trial. Hey, hurry up with it, will ya? Pass the victims list around. You've got to be kidding! There's over 100 people on here!
Mr. Nick? Is Mr. On-Guard really that big and bad of a criminal?
Actually, Pearls, never mind. Sounds like they're working on a different case. Ah, we'll tell.
All right now, Mr. Nick. Let's go look for clues. We have to. For Mr. Myers' sake. You shall not pass.
His old man!
Don't detail my name and turn it into a ghastly, spiny-headed bunny farmer. Because of you, I've been made to look like a bad again. Although I did get a piece of gum from Edgy Boy, just as he promised. But what I really wanted was something more valuable. Edgy Boo's heart, but not me, and it's your fault. You've awakened the wild beast inside of this old man. His old bag. Keep your hands off me. This outfit is airtight. No air gets in and no air gets out.
Then why do you keep putting it on?
Don't you think? Don't think you can get me to move with silly questions. You're going to have to defeat me if you want to get by.
I'm not hearing this.
You're a million light years too early to be asking me questions, whippersnapper.
Looks like the only way I'm going to get any investigating done is to first do something about this kooky alien. And I'm going to leave. Sure is dark.
I'll go turn on a light.
So this is what a star's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich.
Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's find Shu the kitty cat. Shu.
So I guess this is Shu.
Oh, what a lovely cat. Oh, Shu.
It's so cute. Cat seems to like pearls. Pardon me. May I help you with something, Mr. Oh, we're lawyers. Actually, I'm Mr. On-Guard's lawyer. The Master's. Then you must be Mr. Wright. Yes. Ah, it is a pleasure to meet your wonderful son. I am the family butler, John Doe. Nice to meet you. Must know all sorts of things about Mr. On-Guard, right? Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master or his affairs. How typically butler-like, as it were. Mr. Doe, how long have you served at this residence? Well, sir, I would have to say, maybe about 1 year. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of himself and his affairs. No, I would have thought Mr. On-Guard the kind to have a maid over a butler. That's a very cute cat you've got here. It is my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies Shu. And, anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat. Well then, I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore. Well, I'm afraid I must take my leave. Oh, we should probably get going ourselves. So young, yet already so accomplished. A master of law. But there's also a lot to be proud of in being a butler, in charge of a house and all. Thank you for your compliments, sir. You're not always who they appear. Now, if you'll excuse me. Okay. Are you... Well... I need to do something about her, but what do I do? Profile, on... Oh, wait. Evidence. I have this thing. Maybe if I show her this letter I got from Adrian. Miss Oldback, if you would look at... What? You want me to look at this worthless piece of... Poo. Ugh. Is that her perfume? Pheromone d'Amour I smell?
Let's see here. Would you please allow this unsophisticated young person to conduct his investigation? Yours truly, Miles Edgeworth.
Yours truly?
That man's good at flattery. Fine, but only because Eddie Pooh said so, you understand? Just thought of something I have to do. Remember, no messing around. If you do anything bad, then I won't let you off the hook. It looks like she has strong feelings for Mr. Edgeworth.
That may be, but you know nothing's gonna come of it.
That's so mean, Mr. Nick. Feelings are meant to be told and shared.
Ow. Every time we talk about love, I always end up with a handprint on my face somehow. So anyway, let's continue our investigation.
Okay.
What now?
One other thing before I forget. Can't go into On Guard's room today. Why? Police's main investigation team is going to be in there all day, you hear?
I wonder if they're the team in charge of investigating the killer.
So don't go in there. Set one foot in there and you'll face the Reverend Wendy Oldbag.
Okay. Looks like we're the only ones here.
And yet, the hotel seems so busy somehow.
Probably because the police team is scouring for clues about the killer.
Hey, city boy.
What? You're still here.
Breaking cars. An investigative photographer eats her stars on her ability to snap up the scoop, yeah? And this hotel just has that aura of mystery. You know, like something's always about to happen. You have a camera? Given. Photographers gotta have cameras out the ear like corn to be a real pro, you know? So I'm hanging around here. Speaking of cameras and feeding the mouth, do you have mine, you bread thief?
Why can't you drop that thief thing already? Except I do have it. What? Oh. Hey, you don't want your camera? Okay. I want to ask you about the night of the murder.
What? You're really gonna shell out the bucks for the info I got?
Lana, you were loitering in the hallway the night of the murder, were you not?
Well, duh, but...
Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes.
I didn't exactly hang around here the entire time, you know. Followed a few stars around. Got a few autographs, shook a few hands. Had a soda pop with a few of them, too.
Looks like she wasn't here the entire time that night.
Security lady also wasn't in this hallway the whole time either.
I guess this means there's no one who can tell us who came and went that. So, about the note that was inside your camera case.
Oh, that Kitty Arrow?
Yeah. Can I believe what you've written?
You mean the stuff about On Guard shoving his manager lady on a corrida?
Yeah.
Well, I reckon you best not be believing that.
What?
Look, sort of wrote that on a whim, you know. Writing whatever came to mind. Whatever came to mind. Yeah, when you get down to it, it's just a lot of random bull-dooders. Hey, what's with you? Why you staring at me like my grandpa used to? Hey, Hey, what do you look like? You suddenly got older too. Or am I just shrinking here? Fit rate check. It should be okay now. Hi, Remla. Welcome back. Yeah, we're finally vibing. But yeah, how are you? My baby! My $1,600 baby! What's with that red-coated prosecutor anyhow? The guy told me it was evidence and refused to give it back to me. Well, that's kind of how it is. Hey, you're the Redcoat's friend, ain't ya? So put in a few good words for me and get me back my camera. Not saying it's perfect, but it's definitely watchable. Oh, really? It seems pretty close. What are we up to? We're investigating now. We finished the first part of the trial. So we know Adrian Andrews is innocent of murder. But she did try to frame Matt. And now we know that Shelly the killer probably did it because we found his card. But Phoenix is in denial that Matt is the one that hired him. Because he has to get him acquitted. There's still a bit of lag every now and then, but not a lot. Oh, really? Okay. Well, hopefully it's not too bad. Because it seems to be okay from my preview, so... You want me to do what? Car. Car? Not car. Card. Card. This thing. This one. The picture card. Yeah. Listen, thank the guy real good. Thank the guy real good for about 5 hours, and I guarantee he'll give it back. Why don't you go do your own dirty work? I reckon it's time for me to get going. A tabloid photographer without camera is just a tabloid, huh? Yeah, I guess so. Is my mic different or game audio louder than normal? Oh, yeah, my mic has been, like, buggy. I don't know what it is, but the audio is a bit nasty. I think I'm gonna invest in a new mic. I'll probably order it as soon as stream is over. But yeah. So we'll have to deal with this for maybe one more stream. Real unfortunate. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's not great. Yeah, I could turn down the game audio a bit. That better? Let me know if that's good or not. Keep yourself together out there, you hear? I'm coming to see you in court tomorrow. Better, otherwise it's really hard to understand. I see. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, I'll see you then. And you too there, little one. Keep up the good work, okay? What bike am I planning to order? I don't know. I have to do some research. I have a budget, unfortunately, but, you know, I'll find something. Okay. Don't be picky about your food now. Okay. And make sure you do all your homework, you hear? Okay. And if you happen to find yourself a camera, make sure you bring it right to me. Would you please just leave already? Alright. Mr. Nick? What is that otherworldly, ghastly moaning? I hate evil ghosts. Blah. I don't think it's a ghost. Maybe it's a demon. Excuse me? What would you call a demon, Brent? Zoinks, it's the alien. What are you calling an alien? Oh, it's just you, Miss Oldback. What are you doing here? What's wrong with you young'uns today? I came down here to pay my respects to my poor Juan, and you're disturbing me. Was that crying noises? Please talk to me about the night of the murder just one more time. Big budget or small budget? Because typically the free to have a budget means you have a lot of money. No, I am on a very tight budget. I would not want to go over 50 bucks. I talked about it plenty at the trial. I was fooled, tricked, deceived by that fraud of a photographer and her note. She was loitering around here with that imbecilic look on her face. With that imbecilic look on her face? Okay, got it. Yeah, it does make things a bit more tricky, but I'll find something. And Now, hold on a second here, you little pipsqueak. If you're going to take notes, at least make me sound better than that. Oh, alright.
Now I've seen everything.
But you know, I was working that night too, doing my job, minding my own business. So it's not like I had time to waste standing around here the whole night.
I was wondering if you could tell me a bit more about Mr. Corina.
He was the most popular star, you know, especially where it counts, in my book.
But I heard that he was lagging behind in the polls against Mr. Ongar.
Well, that's just a recent thing, bad luck and all that, you know? But he was going to become an even bigger star than he used to be. Look, just look at this mountain of presents. It's a show of the mountain of feelings all his fans had for him.
Yeah, the mountain is pretty big, and certainly nothing to shake a stick at.
Mr. Nick?
What is it, Pearls?
Presents. They're all bears, right?
She's got a point. There isn't a single thing here that isn't a bear. All of Mr. Corita's presents from his fans seem to be bears.
Oh, that's because you can't think of one without thinking about bears. Bears? Why bears? You don't know? When my dear Juan was training, he fought barehanded with a bear. He refused to give in and let the bear win, but after the fight, they became friends. Wow, what a heartwarming story. Look, it's just like in those young people's dramas. I could see those two tuckered out down by a river and going, hey, you sure can't fight. You too, bub, you too.
Hi, Dada, how are you? Did all that really happen?
I did his biography, bub.
What a load of crock!
So ever since then, fans have been giving him bears as presents.
Yeah, nice. Bears. I'm Uncle Bear, and I say it's barely 8 o'clock. Ooh, what is that infernal racket?
It's one of the presents going off. Sounds like it's already 8 p.m. Way past your bedtime.
That startled me. Thought I was going to die for a second.
8 p.m.? That's the time when the award ceremony ended that night, remember?
Time sure flies. Hard to believe it's been 2 days since the ceremony. Transceiver. So much worse than a cuckoo clock, for sure. Hello? Hello? This is not a phone. Maya! How is Maya? You haven't heard her, have you? Seems you were not able to fulfill your end of the bargain, Mr. Attorney. You've heard the news. So it would seem my present did you no good.
No. Big Maya. Mystic Maya.
One more day, please. All I ask is for one more day. I'll get a not guilty verdict for sure this time. Please. Been pretty good chilling and working. That's good to hear. I hope you have a nice, relaxing, chilling time and not too stressful of a work time. I suppose if I must. I need that acquittal more than anything else after. Please. Please let Maya say something. I want to hear she's alright. Yes, yes. Be like non-stressful work. Alright. Little... What's with the static all of a sudden? Hello? Hello? It seems... that... Dang it! Did the transceiver just suddenly break? Excuse me.
What happened?
I don't know. All of a sudden, it became nothing but static.
Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya.
How did the transceiver suddenly break like that? I should probably have an electronics expert look at it. Sooner the better. Electronics expert, you say? Gumshoe! Awfully rude of that receiver for... Why did it have to go and break like that? No one asked for that. Hey, welcome back, pal. I thought I'd make you a little something for dinner. That's nice. Thanks. A rich man's luxurious full-course meal. Out of can, that is. I'm sorry you went through all the trouble to cook, but I don't have time to eat. Oops. Looks like you don't have a can opener, pal. Gotta be kidding. And here I thought he had already whipped something up. Oh, I know. There is one way I know how to be helpful. Ask me about anything you want, pal. Go ahead. Well, since he's here and offering, I wonder what I should try asking him about. Okay, good. We can just hand it to him. Look. Transceiver.
Oh, Mr. Nick, you should ask Mr. Scruffy Detective about that thing.
What thing? Oh yeah, this thing just up and broke all of a sudden. Broke, pal? When I was talking to the kidnapper, it just suddenly broke into static. Look, it sounded like this. I don't hear any static, pal. Huh?
Maybe it fixed itself.
That's strange. I'm sure it was making a loud static noise. Maybe. Maybe what? Maybe it was electromagnetic interference, pal. Electromagnetic interference. Talk to me, Gumshoe. Maybe that fixed it. Maybe. We did turn it on and off again. That's true. That's what you do with computers. So what is electromagnetic interference? It's something that happens when a radio wave gets mixed up with another signal, pal. Oh, when you put it that way.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Like, for example, when a cell phone goes off next to a computer screen, stuff on the screen gets kind of fuzzy and starts acting funny, right?
Huh? Computer?
It's like when you use the dryer next to the TV and the screen starts looking funny.
Oh, yes, the TV does do that. Oh, so that's what you're talking about.
She seems amazingly happy at being able to understand this. The room you two are in with that interference to the transceiver. It's gotta be something there that's sending out very strong radio waves, pal. Something like a listening device or something. Hey, speaking of that, where were you when it happened?
We were in Mr. Karina's room, the scene of the murder.
What? That's it. I'm gonna sneak into the precinct and get a bug sweeper. I'll meet you at the crime scene later, alright, pal? Wait. Gumshoe. Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time. I'm fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeah!
We should get going too, Mr. Nick.
Alright, let's go. We should move. Back to hell. Sherlock Gumshoe is on the scene. We love to see it. Yes, right. Hey, it's finally here, pal. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Do you have the, bug sweeper?
Well, you see, I got busted trying to sneak in, pal. Then suddenly I'm staring at the precinct doors. From the outside, I mean. So, yeah, couldn't get one of the police bug sweepers. What do you mean you couldn't get one? We need that item. Hey, calm down, pal. I didn't say I didn't get one, just all the police's.
Oh, so this is a bug sweeper.
Looks a little broken. Hey, this was made when I was in elementary school, pal. Oh, by who? Me, of course. See, this sure brings back memories. Was Gumshoe fired? Yes, he was. He was fired. He was fired for helping us out. Francisco was like, I don't need you. So yeah, poor guy. Hey, don't look down on him, pal. Sure, it looks a little beat up. But I put my heart and soul into building this puppy here.
Your heart and soul?
Yeah, that's why he's hanging out with us now. It'll work, trust me, pal. It'll do the job. But, you can't set the sensitivity. So it's gonna beep at anything that gives off electromagnetic waves.
But it's better that way.
Well, anyway, since I brought it all the way, might as well give it a whirl, right, pal? I'm getting that sinking feeling again. Okay, now I'll tell you how to use this baby. It's a listening device or some other sort of bug hidden in this room, pal.
So we're going to find it, right?
Right. First, let's turn the sweeper on. Next, move the sweeper around to give the room a real thorough looky-see, pal. The sweeper will let you know how strong of a signal it's picking up, so keep an eye on it, okay? Once you find something that's giving off a lot of radio waves, press enter to lock onto it. A lot of things here that's going to give off radio waves. So let's get a good look at anything and everything that seems suspicious, okay, pal? Alright, I'm gonna go stand outside and keep an eye out. Give me a yell if you find the bug. Got it, pal? Yes, sir. I know where it is.
This is just a giant stuffed teddy bear, right? It's the biggest one I've ever seen.
Hey, so did you guys find it yet? The listening device, I mean?
No, not yet. But this bear's eye is...
Let's see. Perfectly normal stuffed bear with some really strong radio waves. Sounds like you found the device to me, pal. Let's dig this big fella's eye out and see what we got. Remember this one as well? Yeah, it's pretty iconic.
No, you can't! Such a violent act!
Mm. It's a miniature camera, and it looks like there's more. There's a transmitter and a timer, a 101 emitter, transmitter, pal.
Oh, is this more of the high-tech stuff?
So this tiny thing is a camera. Yup, it's a pinhole CCD camera, pal. It's a small high-grade video camera mostly used in security systems. So it's a video camera. It runs on a battery, which comes with it in a set. But there's no videotape in this camera. This is only the camera part there, pal. The tape recorder with the tape inside is somewhere else.
Somewhere else?
Footage is changed into radio waves, and then it's sent to that recorder.
So, it's sort of like a TV broadcast, isn't it?
Hey, you know, you're right. So, what is a transmitter? It's a device that sends the footage the camera took to a specific destination. It's like a video version of a listening device, pal. Looks like it's attached to a small clock-like thing. Oh, that's a timer, pal. You set it to turn the camera on and record at a certain time.
You can set it for a certain time?
Yep, let's see. This looks like it was set to start at 8 p.m. and go for 1 hour. 8 p.m.? That was the time the awards ceremony ended. There's no date set, so it's been recording every night, I guess.
Mr. Detective, how long has this bear been here?
I'm pretty sure it's been here since the night of the murder.
Then maybe...
This camera caught the murder on tape! What? And if you think about the angle the bear is in, it's bound to have a clear shot of the whole crime, pal. Let's go.
So there was a camera in the bear's eye.
It was disguised as a present. I'm sure it was here on the night of the murder, pal. It's pretty big, so it stands out pretty well in my mind. But who gave Mr. Corita this present? I don't know, pal. But this means that someone out there's got a video of what happened here that night.
Isn't there any way we could find out who that person is?
It's impossible, pal. Radio waves can be sent almost anywhere, so there's no real way to find out.
Oh.
Is there really no way to find out? Got it! What? Hey, let me borrow this mini camera for a bit. What are you going to do? I'm gonna go around to the electronics shop and see if I can find out who bought this. But that's impossible. I mean, it's already 9 p.m. Leave it to me. Even if I have to search all night, I'll find your man, pal. Alright, Gumshoe. Oh yeah, baby, it's investigating time. I'm on fire, pal. My fingers are itching to go. Yeah!
He's gone.
Yeah.
But Mr. Scruffy Detective sure is a nice man. He's punching himself so hard, all for Missing Maya's sake.
It's a mystery how you always manage to do things in the most inefficient ways, right? You'll have to excuse me. I heard your conversation just now. Twerk, what are you doing here? Rescue team has been created and deployed. I can't say I'm optimistic. We have to move forward, one step at a time. I see. Thanks. Don't thank me yet. We still have to find her. So, There was a spider hidden inside the stuffed animal, huh? I do genuinely love they made Gumshoe good when it comes to tech. It's true. It's like the one thing he is good at, besides giving us info. I love him though. He does have a specialty. It's very cute. We're one lucky man, right? Do you know the stuffed bear, little girl?
I have no idea.
Of course not. The maker of this bear is a very expensive luxury brand from overseas. It's completely handmade, and only a small number of them exported here.
What?
Camera and transmitter that Scatterbrain Detective took with him are dead ends. Things like those can be bought anywhere. However, this bear is different. By tracking how it got into this country, this bear can tell us who the buyer is.
How does Edgeworth know this? He's very rich. Very well-off man. And he lived with the Von Karmas, and they're famous overseas, right? Maybe it's a German bear. Can you really do that? Mr. Nick, can you really?
Oh, I guess so. And he spent his money on big stuffed bears. I mean, hey, let's not hobby shame him, you know? Maybe he likes big stuffed bears. It's 9 p.m. I think I can still make it in time. I'll be taking this for now. I'm sure you have other things you have to do. Stuffed bear snatched up by Edgeworth. How big is that thing? Edgeworth, can you really just carry that around? See you soon, right? Wait! Why are you doing this? How does he snatch it up? That's what I'm saying. My guy is strong. He is built different. I have no interest in explaining myself to someone who cannot comprehend. Besides that, until court reconvenes tomorrow, you should concern yourself with this question. Was the person that murdered Juan Correa real killer? Do you really still think it was Adrian Andrews? To be honest, I don't know anymore. You still have a little time left. Find the truth, right? Everything begins with the truth. Juan Corrida's real killer. Miss Andrews' past. The kidnapper whose sole condition is an acquittal for Mr. On Guard. And Miss Carr. Shelley the killer. Maya, the only way I can save you now is to find all the answers to this case tonight. We did not see it this stream, no. We saw it last time, but not this time. I don't understand what your real intentions are, Edgeworth. As you said, all I can do for now is find the truth. Okay, I think we'll end it here instead of what lying true. But yeah, we'll end it here for today. My voice is starting to leave me, and it's almost time for people to be getting back. Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Right, I'm gonna send out a rate. Let's see. Okay. Let's find. Okay, we're going to go raid Gojo-sama TV. They're streaming Genshin Impact. So, actually, the preview doesn't look like it. Anyway, we're gonna go raid them, so if you want to stick around for that, awesome. And if not, thank you so much for coming and for, dealing with my bad bit rate for 80% of the stream. Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye!